What's up, Scoop Podcast? I'm your host, Erica Krooppin. And on today's episode, we have a guest. I'm very, very excited. I have Nicole with Two
No.
Sisters Scoop. Welcome to the podcast.
Hi, thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Well, first of all, thanks for joining me. I truly appreciate you taking time out of your day.
Of course, I'm so excited.
Yeah, I'm excited too because I love seeing female business owners
Me
do
too.
their thing. Like we're succeeding, we're thriving, we're growing awesome businesses. And I've been watching you online and you have been kicking butt.
Yay, yes, I'm trying.
You really are. So if you could just give our listeners just like a highlight reel about yourself.
Yeah, so I'm in Buckley, Washington, about an hour and a half south of Seattle. I heard Poop Scoop on the radio one day on my way to work, and I was like, that sounds pretty easy. I could do that. So I messaged somebody when I got home from work, and I was like, hey, are you hiring? I don't even remember who it was, but they said no. And I said, okay, I'll do it myself then. So I just started a couple weeks later, posting on Facebook. I got a couple customers that way, and it kind of just took off a little bit, not too much. And I was still working. I was able to quit my job within 6 months, 7 months, and I've been doing it just scooping ever since.
Holy smokes, you've like moved like fire. Okay, so what were you doing before?
I worked in construction.
So you're used to working outside.
Yeah. Well, I worked in construction, but I was inside. I was like the project coordinator.
Which is really good for probably organization, because that's something I really struggle with, like, is the
It's hard.
organization. It really is. Okay. So how long were you a project coordinator for with the construction
A
company?
year.
Okay.
And I was in plumbing before that as an office manager for 7 years.
So yeah, you got some good history. So we'll make sure we need to circle back to this about how that has helped you with growing your business, because you from what I've seen, you've had some really good success. Um So when you were like, "Okay, I'm gonna go I'm gonna go all in on my business," were you nervous to leave?
I was because I have a kid. I only had one at the time, but I was very nervous. It's a lot riding on me. But I hated my job and I hated who I worked for. So I was making triple the money at that point. So I wasn't too nervous.
You're like, "Peace out."
I'm
Okay.
back.
So the listeners, they really like to know numbers. So if you could, if you wanna be transparent, if you could, how many current reoccurring customers do you have right now?
I have 429 customers.
A moment of silence. And can you repeat how long have you been in business for?
2 years this March.
Okay. And are you comfortable with talking about revenue per year?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. What are you making, girlfriend?
My business is currently at 500,000.
Woo! If you guys are watching this down on YouTube, I need for you to put a freaking fire emoji.
Yes.
I love that. Okay. Did you
Yeah.
in your wildest dreams, did you ever think like I'm gonna be able to grow like a pooper scooper business or have a pooper scooper or a
Absolutely
business
not.
like this?
Nope. I always wanted my own business, but I didn't know what to do. Um, but it kind of just fits, it works really well with me and my family. My daughters love it. And nobody else wants to do it. And I didn't even know about it until I heard it on the radio. So it all made sense. So
Well, thank God that somebody was like, "Hey, let's talk about poop
I
scooping."
heard it on the radio in the 4 minute commute that I had. So it was meant to be.
It literally was. All right, so let's take a stroll down memory lane. What did
Okay.
that first 6 months look like for you when getting started?
Um, I just thought it was going to be a side hustle. I didn't think too much into the future about it. I had a good amount, for extra income, but I didn't think that it would, get me where I am now. I didn't think I'd have employees. I thought maybe I'd quit my job one day, but um The community around me really thought it was pretty cool. When I first started posting on Facebook, they had never heard of it either. So, um, it, I had 30 clients pretty quickly.
Mhm. Okay. So you got those first 30 clients. And how were your rates when you first got started versus now?
I haven't really changed them. I've changed them by $5. So not too much. I wasn't charging extra for the first clean, only on my very first one. And I was like, no, we have to charge extra on this first one. It took me way longer than I thought it would. I brought one trash bag. I had no idea what I was doing. And I was like, we got to charge more for this extra time. So that's the only thing that really changed was me charging for the initial. And I just added $5 to the reoccurring.
Okay. And then if you can, where is your base rate at for one dog,
Mhm.
standard size yard, let's say a small yard for weekly service?
It is 22.
22. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty close to where I'm at too. So it goes to show that you can grow a nice fat business and not give your service away for free. Okay. So let's talk about marketing a little
Yeah.
bit. Okay. How are
So
you getting customers now in 2025?
I am mostly getting them on Facebook ads. I'll get referrals once in a while, or some of my groups, but really it's just all the ads now.
Okay. Um, how much are you spending on ads?
350 a day.
Three like $350 a day?
Yeah.
Okay. Woo! Holy smokes. So for the people that are like, I'm spending $5, I'm spending
Right.
$10.
You gotta put some skin in the game. I do get it back with that first clean. I charged for my first clean, so it's all coming back to me. I'm not, there's not too much out of pocket at the end of the day, but I do have to spend money to make money. So I need people to see me.
Yeah. So what are you charging for that first initial clean?
The first clean for the first dog is 55, and then each additional dog is $10.
Okay. So are you doing your sales still or have you hired it out?
Nope, it's just me. My husband helps me a lot with the ads because I have no idea what I'm doing. So he's great with that, and I'm do everything else myself.
I hear you. I try to outsource the sales.
Hmm. It's hard.
It hasn't gone well. My conversion rates have been in the toilet, and so I'm like, "Okay, well, I need to
Sure.
reprioritize." Like, my social media is running pretty smooth now, I have a virtual assistant, so I hopped back in the saddle, and I'm, like, messaging literally today, like, this is what I was doing right before I got on the call with you. I landed 3 accounts
Really?
within
By
the
yourself?
last
Without that other guy?
what?
By yourself?
Yeah,
Or what?
by following up. So we've been doing,
Yeah.
like, Facebook leads, and I have, like, 100 and maybe 109, 110 that haven't
Wow.
converted, and so I went through,
Hmm.
I sent a message that I got a recommendation message, from another scooper to try out. I sent that out, and people that weren't responding back to me started responding.
Yeah.
I hopped in the messages, I started conversing like a human being.
Right. They don't like the automation. They don't like talking to a robot, or people aren't answering. They just like to connect and make sure that you're real.
Yeah, and that is something I did very well. Not to like, we're going to switch over to me for a minute and then we're going to get back to you. But in the beginning, I had a lot of success with my business because I
Hmm.
was so personable. Then I got
Sure.
really busy. Then I started this online thing, taking up
Hmm.
a lot of my time and energy because I love it.
Right.
So I was trying to figure out how to automate that stuff so
Yeah.
much, but it took the personality and the pizzazz out of it, and I have
Absolutely.
s yeah, and I've been able to tell, and I'm like, "Okay, I've been back in for, like, an hour and a half and already landed 3 accounts," so
See,
it's literally a no-brainer.
it's a little bit more hard work, but it pays off. So,
Yeah, okay. So are you running Facebook ads, Google ads,
nope, just Facebook. We
and
do we do have the most reviews in the area, so that's where we stand out on Google.
how are you getting your reviews?
I beg people.
Okay.
Every time we do a new clean, I will text them and be like, "Hey, how did one of our girls do? Um, can you leave a review? And, 9 times out of 10, they will. Then I follow up if they leave on, on good terms. If they move or they can't afford it, anything like that, I just say, hey, wouldn't you mind leaving a quick review? It really helps our business.
I love that. I did that in the beginning with, like, a copy and paste, and then I switched over to, like, more of an automated thing. Have you heard of Clay with Review Harvest yet?
I have heard of it.
Yeah. So Clay, he's, like, doing big things within the pooper scooper industry, but if you ever wanna move over to, like, the more automation,
Yeah.
it's cool because not only is he getting the reviews for you, it's posting on pretty much all of your social medias
Oh, okay.
and, like, on your Google, on your Facebook, on your stories, and they're responding back to the Google reviews that are being left.
Okay, that's
Mhm.
awesome. I might have to take a look at that.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out. For those of you that are listening right now, if you want to check out Review Harvest, go ahead and click the link down below and tell them that Krooppin sent you or that Nicole sent you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Clay is really awesome. But before that, because I didn't have money either, so it was just like you said, like beg. Like it really helps a small business grow, a
Mhm.
5-star review.
Right. And it just takes a couple seconds for them to do. So it's pretty easy.
Yeah. Around Halloween, one time I said, "Where's the best place to hide a dead body?" Dot, dot, dot. On the second page of Google, because nobody looks there. Would you mind giving us a 5-star review? That one actually performed very well.
I love that. I'm gonna have to try that this
Yeah.
year.
Yeah, let me
That's
know how it goes.
genius.
All right, cool. So you're killing it. You got a ton of customers. You're bringing in like a half a million. You got some girls working for you. How many staff members you have?
We have three and they're great. I first hired Harmony and she's like a shark when it comes to scooping. She will out scoop any scooper in America. She's so fast. And we have Brooklyn, and she was one of my customers' daughter-in-laws, so she was a great find. She's so sweet. And then we just hired Grace, and she's our picking up very quickly. She's very sweet.
Awesome. Where are you finding these lovely ladies?
Um, One of my old employees posted on Snapchat, and that's how I found Harmony. And then I let the other girl go. And then Brooklyn, I was just telling my customer that I had to scoop for that day because I let somebody else go. So she's like, my daughter-in-law is looking for a job, so I just automatically hired her, just trusting my customer. And then Grace, I just found her on Indeed, so she's great.
I'm actually getting ready to launch another Indeed ad.
It's
So some
hard. I get so many people that aren't ready to scoop.
yeah, and or because of the winter, like here in Michigan, they're
Mhm.
just applying to, like, satisfy their unemployment requirement.
Exactly. And then you'll like their resume and you will call them and they won't call back. I've had three people not show up for interviews this week. I'm like, don't say you will if you won't. It's
Yeah.
not too hard.
Where are you doing your interviews at?
I was doing them at a local coffee shop, but I was really busy this week, so I was just doing virtual. And so it didn't waste my time too much that they didn't show up, but it's just annoying.
Can we talk about that a little bit? Because I remember when I was scooping and I was, like, working out of my garage,
Hmm.
I felt a little I don't know, like, I don't want people to know that I'm still working in my garage, like,
Yeah.
yeah, like, insecure, that's the word.
Yeah.
So, the coffee shop that you chose, is it just
Mhm.
something local? Like, is there
Yeah,
something
it's
something you're looking
local. They
for?
know me there. I do my interviews there. We had our family pictures taken in there. So they know me. But I'll just bring girls. We have our meetings there every couple months. So it's really friendly.
Okay, so you're still operating, like, like, out of the house or whatnot? No
Yep.
office
We
yet?
are here. I've thought about an office. I need to get one soon because my HOA is not going to let me park any more cars here pretty soon. So I do need an office, but I'm trying to hold off through busy season so that I can just focus on that maybe in the spring.
I had Rolfe Street Committee send me a
Yeah.
message. They
Oh,
mailed it to me saying that the parking situation was just out of control. And I was
mhm,
mad. I was like, I own this house.
mhm.
Why am I not part of this committee? It was just
Right.
some jerk neighbor that wrote it with
Yeah.
their hand and double spaced it and snuck it into my mailbox.
Yeah.
Okay, so are you providing the vehicles for the girls?
So they're all mine. They come to my house in the morning. They pick up the keys, the phone that I have, because they don't let them take anything home.
Mhm.
And then they'll just be on their way and then come back at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's when I think some people, like, overthink it. I know I overthought it in the
Mhm.
beginning.
Right.
It really is that simple.
Yeah.
Do they have a gas card?
We have an app. It's like through the 76 station. There's a 76 right across the highway from my house. So they'll just go there. They'll use the app. They don't have any cards or anything. They just hold the app up to the pump and that's it.
Oh, that's so simple.
Because I was like, we were filling up ourselves, throughout the weekend. It was just too much, juggling 2 cars, 3 cars. And then we found the app and it's just so much easier. They can be self sufficient with it. They can fill up when they need to. I don't have to know about it. I get an alert on my phone. There's a password. It's great.
As for vehicle maintenance, do you have them take the car to get an oil change, or do you guys take
No,
it?
not yet. They just don't have time during the week. So I just do it during the weekend. They are responsible for just letting me know if something sounds weird or it needs an oil change or, anything like that.
Do you have cameras in the cars?
I have dash cams and tracking devices.
Nice. Okay.
And the dash cams were their idea, so they love it.
Yeah, the cameras are really nice because with who I'm using Raven. It,
Mhm.
it, like, records inside and outside. It
Oh,
records
okay.
their speed. I have, like, a dashboard where I can see, like, everywhere they went. So if
Yep.
they went off the beating trail, like, they went and
Mhm.
picked their kid up
Great.
mid-shift and did not communicate about it,
Yes.
I'm able to see that. If they
Great.
pick up their phone or talking on their phone, it goes boop, 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 and shows.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And if
That's nice.
there's a harsh braking or any
Yeah,
type of issue,
we
it
have that.
shows that.
Yep.
If there's an accident, you get to see the footage because I had a very one of my girls had a very bad accident, so I got to see what was going on.
No. That's good though,
Yeah.
like, and for insurance.
Well, for her, it wasn't so good.
Oh, no.
And that was her second one in 6 months, too. She totaled out 2 of my cars.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so, that's we can kinda talk about that a little bit later because
Yeah.
having employees are amazing, but sometimes it can be really, really stressful. But
Yes.
let's not get negative in this yet. We're vibing really good right now.
Yeah. Let's do it.
So your employees, they come and they pick up the
Mhm,
cars. How
mhm.
many houses are they doing per shift?
They are doing anywhere from low 20s to about 30. So somewhere in that range.
What is your service area just in general, radius-wise?
We go about an hour out. So we go to Tacoma, we'll go to Puyallup, Graham, and all around my house. So um, I live in a weird area where it's not too convenient to like hop over to Seattle or too far south. So we try to keep it at 45 minutes to an hour where we're going for our furthest one.
Gotcha. Okay, and then average yard size. What are we talking here?
I only do a quarter acre and under. I have very few that are half acre and they're just easy yards. So I don't go like crazy half acres, like flat, clean, but I really try to keep it as small as possible.
Do you have pretty good route density then?
Oh, yeah. And it's getting better each time I get another customer. So these girls are doing, a lot in a shorter amount of time rather than like when I was starting and I was doing bigger gaps and driving further. And so it's really nice to get closer. And with some of our houses are 2 minutes apart or next door neighbors, or it's really great.
Now, is the route density happening because of the ads, or are you doing something to create their route density, like passing out like door hangers or yard
No,
signs?
I did door hangers, and it didn't do anything. I didn't get one call from door hangers. I've tried everything. I passed out flyers at vets and, I'd get one, but nothing crazy. It's really just the ads and referrals and, just getting your face out there in the community. And I did events that really didn't do much, but I got to talk to a lot of people. So that was nice. A lot of people still don't know who I am or what I do. So as much as I can tell people about it, the better.
No, I think that's important too. So can we circle back? So you said that you're doing 350 a day in
Mhm.
advertisement. At what point in your business did you start doing advertising? Like, and how
I
much did you start with?
didn't do advertising for the first year. I started last March, so I haven't even been doing ads a year. Um, and I think I just started with like 50 a day.
Some people are gonna be like, "Whoa, that's so much," but it's the game's changed so much since I started. Like, I used to put a post in a buy sell trade group,
Yep.
land, let's be honest, $30,000 worth of work and keep
Right.
it moving.
Yeah.
It's not like that. I mean, it's been 6 years,
It's a
things have
lot
changed a
harder.
lot.
Yeah.
It is, it is. So do you
Well,
have is there a lot of companies in your area?
no, there's a couple, but not too many like where I'm based out of. And there'll be a couple that'll start, but they'll fizzle out. There is another one, and I send her all my customers that I can't get to, or that swoop scoop can't get to. So it's good to build connections with other businesses in the area too, because I sent one to another girl and she did it one time. It was like a 2 day notice, and I just couldn't get there. And then when she moved, she called me because she liked my customer service and how I helped her. And so now she's one of my customers.
That's awesome. I do love connecting with the other business owners. Do
Yeah.
you connect with any, like, tree guys or landscapers?
I have connected with landscapers more so that I'm referring them than they refer me. But it's good that they know my name. Just in case they've tried to refer me, but I just think their customers are like, well, you're gonna pick it up anyway. So no. There's a local landscaper. He's in high school. He's sent me a bunch of customers. Um, but most of them are in pest control companies. They have my name. I have their name, but not a lot of people will give them my name. I mostly am referring other people.
Yeah, that's kinda frustrating. Um, what about, like people are always telling me, like, "Oh, you should network with dog walkers
Mhm.
or dog sitters." I personally haven't had luck with any of that.
Yep, same. I mean, they're picking it up while they're walking. So what am I going to do? Follow them? I
Right?
don't know.
Right? Right? That's funny. Now are you
Yeah.
do you haul the waste away or
No.
do you leave it?
We've never hauled it. We always leave it. It's usually not an issue. People do wonder about it at first, and I just explain like, I'm not taking it. That's no. We drive coupes and sedans. We're not taking it with us. And most people, I've only lost a couple customers, or they haven't signed up because of that. So people really don't care as long as they don't have to pick it up or scoop it themselves.
Very true, very true. Did you ever hear about my story about why I quit hauling it?
No.
Okay, so we had a really, really intense spring rush. I mean, we were doing like truckload and a half per day. Like I had 5 or 6 people out. We were scooping everywhere. Well,
Tossing it in the
well, my husband was working at a tree service and just peppered out there like, "Hey, Erica's got us a little bit of extra dog poop. Do you mind if we use your dumpster?" And this guy was like, "Yeah, sure, whatever. We love Erica. Not a problem."
Sure. Mhm.
So I was like, "Right on." So I start loading it up, loading it up. That's a big dumpster. I'm just loading it up, not thinking anything.
Mhm.
Well, the garbage people came to lift it and it tilted the truck. They couldn't lift it. So my husband, God bless this man, he tied like a bandana or a shirt or something and sprayed cologne on it and tied it around his head. He jumped in the dumpster, started pulling out bag loads of dog poop and throwing it in the back of my truck just so they could lift it. And then he put the rest of it back in there and they had to come back the following week.
Oh my gosh. That's dedication.
He looked me dead in my eyes and said, "Never again."
But he did it.
But he
He
did
did it.
it because I was like, "I don't know. I don't know what we're gonna do here, bud." Just kinda stared.
Sorry.
"Sorry, man." Of course, he didn't wanna, like, get in trouble with his boss too, so he, like, both bosses, me and his other boss. No, I'm joking. But
But,
yeah. So what happened was is I was really nervous to, like, communicate with my customers, and I was like, "Oh, no, they're gonna
Mhm.
be so mad." Like you said, it really was not that big of a deal.
Right. Mhm. It's, just communicate. I think they assume that we take it. But once you say no, they're really okay with it as long as you have a place to put it. It's the bags are clean. We don't leave poop on the outside of the bag, so um, they're always fine.
Right? Um, so what's your onboarding process like? So a customer reaches out to you, what kinda happens from there?
I reach out to them personally every single time. I just say, hey, like, what are you looking for? I already know where they're from most of the time from my lead form. So I'll be like, hey, I see you're in Tacoma. We're there on Wednesdays. Can I get how many dogs you have? And then from the dog number, I'll say, like, this is biweekly. This is the first time. This is weekly. Let's get you signed up.
Now, what is your contact time from you receive the submission? How quickly are you getting back to them?
I try within the hour. Sometimes it's just not going to happen. I But most of the time I can get them pretty quickly, except the ones that call me at midnight.
Right.
That's not good.
Okay, so you send somebody a price, let's just role play a
Mhm.
little bit, and they're like, "Ah, I thought it was gonna be way cheaper. That's
Right,
way more than I thought."
right.
What do you say?
Sorry. My time is valuable. If it's too expensive for them, then they're not going to be a good customer for me. They're not going to pay. They're not going to be who I need. It's a two-way street, so I need a good customer and they need a good scooper. So I'm not willing to take bad customers just to get a customer.
That's true. Honestly, I was hoping you were gonna have, like, some magic sauce to, like, turn it around, 'cause,
I mean,
I was
I have, been able, like, if they ask for monthly, I do not offer monthly. It's just too much for me. The amount of poop for how much I was charging, it's just not worth it for me. So I've never lost one because don't do monthly. I just explain why I don't do it and how gross monthly is. So um, it usually works out.
do you offer biweekly?
I do weekly and biweekly, and that's it. I'll do one times once in a while, but I try not to, especially during busy season. We just don't have the extra time to give it.
No, I agree because 'cause I'm kinda restructuring stuff a little bit right now, and I was thinking about
Yeah.
eliminating the monthly because those always seem to be the biggest hassle for me.
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. It's a lot of work, and you have to spend like double the time, and I don't feel comfortable charging double the price all the time. So I quit doing monthly pretty quickly, and then just held on to who I had. But those eventually went away too.
Okay. Alright, so let's switch back over to your staff. Now are you, like, very organized with your staff? Like, do you have, like, a employee handbook and SOPs?
Yes, we have handbooks. They all know what to do by now. They all have like an order of operation for if someone doesn't answer a gate or a call, or if they can't do something, they know what to do. Um, if they don't, they call me. But they pretty much know what to do. They only call me for emergencies. If a gate wasn't open, if a customer's inappropriate, or a dog attack for some reason. But they're pretty good. They're self sufficient. They come and I don't have to worry about them most of the day.
Okay, I kinda wanna talk about that a little bit with a customer being inappropriate.
Yeah.
With having a female staff, that's something that
Mhm.
we really have to think about, and we have to be on top of, and Crystal I probably shouldn't have said her name, but whatever. She had an issue where a customer was being incredibly inappropriate with
Mhm.
him, and she didn't really tell me right away. There was a couple
Yeah.
issues, and then finally she told me, and I handled it right away because at first I
Yep.
was like, "No, I need to make sure I have my scoopers back." And so I
Yeah.
sent an email. I used ChatGPT to draft it, and like just notified the woman that hired me because it was her dad.
That's even more awkward.
Mhm.
Yeah, I had that this week and I was like, sorry, bud, you're gone.
Yeah, you have to, especially when you got a female staff like that, you have to protect
And
them.
they're alone. They rely on me for safety. They are very young girls. And I'm if I don't have their back, then who is? Because they're by themselves. And these people are probably by themselves in their home too. So
Yeah.
I will lose a customer for the safety of my girls. And, it's not worth it to me for them to like, maybe not get all the poop because they're scared or maybe skip a house. I don't know what could have happened, but I wasn't, it's not that big of a deal to me to drop a customer because he's inappropriate. It's just not worth it.
Yeah, so with Jabber, we have the two-way text messaging, and that means
Mhm.
everybody knows what's going on, like, all
Yeah.
communication, if we get a complaint, if we get a hoorah, whatever, it goes out to everybody. Well, I had one of my customers make reference to my hat because I had a hat with pineapples on it that I got from the grocery store. So he was watching me from his
Okay.
big bay window, looking at my hat or on his cameras, and then started asking me about the pineapples and was like asking me about me and my husband. And I just said, like, listen, I said, I just like the hat. I got it from a gas station. I'm not interested. And I'm very much so married. And he's like, oh, I'm married too. And I'm like,
Not getting it.
so then I get another text message from like the other staff, and they're like, do you need help? Do we need to come save you? And I'm like, I don't know, dude. This guy is weird.
And you never know. Like you're in someone's home.
Yeah.
So you just got to be extra careful. We have pepper spray. We have dog horns. We have it all, but it's still not going to prevent everything.
Do you ever get requests to come scoop, like, in the house? Like
I've gotten requests where we have to go through the house, but I just try to avoid it. Once in a while, I'll allow it, but for the most time, I just tell them that our insurance won't cover it if we have to go inside a house.
yeah, same, same, I'm not interested, like, I don't wanna end up missing.
Right? I'm like, no. I did it once, and I took my shoes off. I was very pregnant, and I was like, okay, we'll do it. I don't know what the reason. I forgot the reason, but I stepped on her carpet, and it was just soaking wet, and I was like, I'm in socks.
Oh, no.
It was just so wet. I'm like,
That
what do you do? You have a flood?
Yeah, I know, what's going on? So for those of you that if you have to go in through a house and you choose to, if you don't wanna take your shoes off, you can get these, like, hospital booties, you can get
Mhm.
them from
Those are great.
Amazon. They're like shoe coverings. That's
Mhm.
I have those on deck, but I'd really try not to go into
Yeah,
anybody's
we have
houses.
them. They're not always very convenient to put on, so I'm just like, let's just use gates. We have to bring poop inside and outside. I don't want to drop anything. Our shoes are gross. No, we don't want to do it.
Yeah. Okay, so, like, with the staff, so you said you have young girls working for you, so
Mhm.
with the younger generation, everybody's like, "Oh, this younger generation doesn't work." Let's talk about managing a younger generation. How does that go?
Um, these girls are great. So it doesn't take too much for me. If I need to correct them on something, they understand right away. I have had staff that doesn't take me seriously because I am young or I am a woman, or I was pregnant and kind of loopy. But or I hired somebody who was older than me, and that just did not work well for that particular person. She just thought that she was better than me. She would yell at me till 10 o'clock every night. I hope you see this. um,
Crazy.
the girls I have now, they listen, they care about my business, my family, um, and we connect really well. But when I do have to like get serious, they understand, and they're also here for the better of our team. So it really helps to have a good team that we can connect on serious levels, on friendship levels. It really helps.
So when you have to correct them, are you doing this over the phone? Are you doing it face to face in your front yard? How does that work?
It depends on how serious the situation is, or if it needs immediate attention. I'll just call them and I'll be like, "Hey, here's the situation. Let's not do that, or let's do it this way." And they'll be like, "Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't realize," or thank you for catching that. They're really receptive to things that I do have to say. So that just makes my job so much easier. No, when I do have to say something, they respond really well,
Good.
which isn't always the case with younger people. I've had people just not listen, or they're like, oh, I figured it out. I don't need you. I got it. Don't worry about it. But they'll do it wrong. So I'm like, you don't got
So when you have to terminate somebody, how are you doing that?
it. I've only terminated people over text or phone call. Um, just because they wouldn't come in, or they just blew me off. They decided to take a vacation when I told them not to. Um, a couple no shows. I mean, can't cancel. I can't fire you in person if you don't show up.
True.
So, and then some people were just like, "This is not for me." I had girls say, "I forgot I hate dog poop," and I was like, "Okay, I don't love dog poop." For the just so you know, I don't love it. It's not great.
No, it's just what we're providing a service for people
Mhm.
and taking care of
But
it.
you know
Are
that when you get the job.
okay. So you have some people. What is your tolerance level for call-ins or people being late?
I don't love late. It throws the whole day off. I don't love when you call in. If it's for like a silly reason, or if I find out that you're really doing something silly or hanging out with your friends, it's annoying because it takes. They don't always understand that I have a full time job outside of scooping. I manage and I market and I invoice and I do all of that every single day. And they don't understand the juggle. But my girls now, they will only miss if they absolutely have to. And they'll make up for it on longer days the next day or the weekend. So they do understand and appreciate how hard I work. And that's nice because I didn't have that before. They would just call in for 3 days in a row and hang out with their friends, and their moms would tell me. And I'm just like, okay.
No, that okay. Yeah, because that sucks because if they call in, you have to figure out what are we doing? Are the other
Mhm.
girls gonna pick up slack? Are we
And they can
pushing the
only pick up
schedule?
so much, especially in the winter when it's dark by 4 o'clock here.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Do you guys work holidays or do you skip them? How does that work?
We work most of the holidays. We don't do Thanksgiving, Christmas, Christmas Eve, um, or the 4th of July. But every other holiday, we're out there. We're stupid.
So what happens if there's like freezing temperatures or rain or issues? Like, how are you navigating that?
Rain, we don't quit for the rain. But if it's bad, I'll call it for a couple hours. Like the wind was really bad this fall. And say, hey, girls, and let's start a couple hours later. We can't have branches falling on us. We
Exactly.
gotta be safe. Safety is always my main priority, in yards, outside of yards, with people. So I'll just say come in later. I've never had to cancel a full day yet. We'll just start later. I don't work in lightning. I don't work in any unsafe situations, lightning, crazy wind, ice. So we always just normally just start later. And I reach out to every customer, let them know what's going on. And, safety is their priority too, because if we die, who's going to scoop their yard?
E exactly. We get really scared about the wind too because we have a lot of trees here in Michigan.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, so you don't really have to skip, so you don't have to worry about, like, crediting people, which
Right.
leads me to my next question. How do you do your billing?
We bill after each scoop.
Okay.
And I know most people don't. It's just what I started with, and it's worked really well. Our girls get over $1,000 each in tips a month, and you can't automate tips.
Wow.
So they really appreciate that. And it, keeps them working hard. So it works for us. I do have to chase quite a bit of invoices per month, but I just threaten them. And I explain, I need to pay my girls, I need to feed my family. And I can be, I'm flexible if something came up, and I know who's going to pay and who's not, within a certain time frame. So they're pretty good at paying, but there's just always going to be those some people that don't want to pay.
That just don't. So what you get somebody that ghosts you. Do you
Hmm.
and then they try to come back, like, a few months later or, like, the next year.
Yeah.
We've all had that happen. How do you
Oh,
handle a
yeah.
situation like that?
I tell them that no, that we've had trouble in the past. I need to pay my girls. I just explain it's a business decision. It's nothing personal. I can't spend my time chasing your money because you decided it wasn't worth paying for, and didn't want to communicate like, hey, something happened. Can I pay you on this date? I'm fine with that. I do understand, but you can't ghost me and think that you can come back.
Oh my god, you make this sound so easy. I love how you're just like, "No, listen, you're not gonna do
No,
this to
you're
me."
not. I'm better. I'll take your money for what you owe me, but I learned my lesson the very hard way sometimes, and people will ghost you. I'll reach out to everybody that they know to get my money. I found someone's mom, and I was like, I'll message her.
That's that's
Don't make
hilarious.
me.
Don't make
I'll
me do
send
this.
message. I'll show up at their house. The one guy that I had to tell him we're not coming back because he harassed my girl. I was like, hey, I'm going to show up Saturday morning at 8 o'clock if you don't pay by the end of today, and he paid.
Oh, very good. I'm gonna do that. I swear I'm gonna do it one time. I have
Yeah,
to.
I know. I was like, I got to follow through, so I got to go to this guy's house at 8 o'clock on Saturday, an hour away. If he doesn't pay today, I'm like, please, please pay.
Yeah, please, I don't really wanna have to do it, but I will.
I will. I'll show up, and I'll do it.
Oh, you mean business. I'm, like, fired up. I'm gonna listen to this, when it drops
Yeah,
to, like, reinvigorate because
I'll
it's like
motivate you. Yeah.
yeah, it's so irritating when you don't get paid, and it's just like I put in the CRM, like, do not scoop, so
Yep.
it notifies me,
Mhm. And it's hard. They only think it's just $40. It's just, I'm like, no, but that adds up when 40 people don't pay $40, and I can't make payroll. That's your fault.
that's true, that's true. Um, so you said that you got a full-time job
Mhm.
if the girls call in. So what does
Mhm.
your day look like since you're not in the field? How is it structured?
I wake up at 3 and I get as much work as I can done, figuring out who I need to harass for money, working on my schedule, um, doing notes, all sorts of things. I make goodie bags for the new customers, um, and try to get as much done before the girls show up and my kids wake up.
Right.
So I try to get as much done then. And then I'm kind of just working throughout the day, until 11 p.m. when I just pass out.
What are these goodie bags looking like?
They have a thank you card that I handwrite. They have candy, a business card, and then some dog treats. So pretty
Oh,
basic, and they appreciate it. It's in a lot of my Google reviews how much they appreciate it. They'll reach out to me and say thank you. So it is a little bit time consuming when I have so many new customers, but a little thing like that does go a long way.
that's huge. For you those of you that are listening, make sure you're taking notes. I wanna say this is probably one of the best interviews I've done. I'm gonna like,
Yay!
I'm loving all the valuable information that you're giving. Um, so I know things are a little bit different for you now because, you don't work your
Mhm.
other job, you're, like, all into this business. You are able to, like, sink a lot of money into advertisement. Do you have any, like, tips or suggestions for that person that's, like, they're just they're struggling, like, they're just like,
Mhm.
"I'm just trying to grow my business by,
Right.
like, 20%."
Yeah, I would just suggest Facebook groups. That's what got me my first 180 customers. So just join every single group you can. I know a lot of people post in the buy sell trade groups. I never did, but I just did community groups or dog groups or anything like that, and I would just post every single week, um, on Business Monday, and just make a graphic, make my prices, and just some weeks are better than the others. Some weeks nobody's going to see your post. Some weeks 50 people are going to see your post. I had somebody Or one week I got 20 people that responded from one post. So you just never know. You just got to be consistent and just keep posting, get your name out there. Yard signs can be good, but mine got taken down. So
I
not
know
the best.
I got in trouble for mine. The city called me.
They took it down, they threw it away. I was like, you could have given it back.
Yeah. I got
Mm,
mine from China, so they're super cheap. I don't care. I really do just need to get rid of them. They're taking up so much space,
right?
but the
They
ground's
just,
frozen right now, so I can't do anything.
how cold is it there?
It was -16 yesterday or the night before last. Yeah,
It was
it got so
the other day, and I thought that was cold. So
so we canceled. We didn't scoop
yeah.
Monday, we didn't
Hmm.
scoop Tuesday, and then yesterday, it was even worse than the day before, like, dangerous, like, we're getting
Yeah.
frostbite type deal, and then,
Because you're in the
today it
grass.
snowed.
The grass is freezing.
Yeah,
It's
and it's
it's.
the wind. It's the
Mhm.
wind that really
Oh
cuts through
yeah.
you, and it makes it to where, like, you can't breathe because it's, like,
Mhm.
freezing out your lungs.
Yeah, that's tough. How do your employees feel when you have to cancel?
Well, first, before I move on, all the Canadians that are
Yeah,
listening to this calling me a baby, y'all are built different, okay?
it's
This
true.
this American air is different over here. Let
It's
me pre
angry.
Yeah, and I don't have the lungs. I don't have we don't have the lungs for it. But because we are prepay and we're on a monthly subscription,
Okay. Yeah.
even when we do skip, I
Mhm.
still pay my staff
That's
because
awesome.
here's why. If I make the call, I'm deciding
Mhm.
to call it,
Mhm.
I'm gonna pay them.
Right.
If I'm not calling it and they said I'm not working in this,
Yes.
they're not getting paid.
Right. Sure.
Yeah. So that's kinda how I run that.
Mhm.
For the first couple years, it was a little weird. I'm like, "I don't know. Should I go out? Should I not?" But
Right.
now I have it, like, in my terms of service, my
Right.
policies and procedures, it's very black and white. And then another little perk for working for me or with me, between Christmas and New Year's, we shut down and my staff gets a
I
paid
saw
vacation.
that. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. So it's nice because it's not like I can't offer healthcare yet, hopefully one day. So that's like
Yeah.
a little perk, and then also I offer a gym membership for
Oh, I thought about doing that because all my girls are like, I'm getting buff, but I'm like, only one arm.
right. So yeah, a gym
That's
membership.
yeah, that's awesome. Do you
Yeah.
get like a group rate or you just pay for it?
At the place where I have it at,
Mhm.
it's like a small business, so it's already
Okay,
discounted. So it's
that's
nothing
awesome.
super crazy. But eventually, like when the business gets like bigger and I get over the hump that I have been
Yeah,
in. Well, honestly, I wasn't, like, really dedicated. Like, I had grown the business to where it was all good, but then I switched my focus, like, I've been going hard on this podcast, like, I have had a podcast drop every single week for the past,
that's really impressive.
like, I mean, I think I'm gonna be releasing, like, 115th episode, you know?
Really
Yeah.
awesome.
So what is that? That's over 2 years.
Yeah.
And so a lot and then I think I've, released, like, a YouTube video or some type of social media content because this is an actual business, so, like, KPS Media is a social media business,
Okay.
right?
Wow.
Well, I figured I was like, I might as well turn it into a business so I can start rating, like, the lights and all of this stuff off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so, but now it's like it's running smooth, I kinda got a good flow, I now have a virtual assistant for the social
Yeah.
media.
Really?
Yes.
That's awesome.
Thanks, I'm super excited. The email that you got today, that was from her.
That's awesome. That's so helpful. All those little things, that really consume your day sometimes.
Well, that and, what had happened was is I had a meeting before, it was, like, a couple weeks ago, and I
Mhm.
didn't send, like, a reminder, and I was here, I was set up, ready to chat, nobody. I was like, "Oh, okay."
Oh, right.
So I, like, messaged, and then I called, and it sounded like the person I had woken the person up, and so after that, I was like, "You know what? I really need to be sending, like, reminder emails."
Yeah.
And so
And it's
that's
hard
kinda
to get going.
Yeah, and the link was there available for you, and it had the best practices, so
It was great.
if you wanna give me some feedback, was it helpful for you?
Yeah, it was great. It was super easy, easy to read. It was quick. It wasn't like a lot too much information that you were like, I'm not gonna read this. And then the link just went straight here. So it was really easy.
Okay, cool. May will be super excited to hear that.
Yeah, it was great.
Alright, cool, I appreciate it. Well, we're at 50 minutes right now. You provided so much value. Thank you so
Oh,
much.
good. I'm glad.
Yeah, do you have any, like, last words of advice or anything you wanna ask me before we go ahead and wrap this up?
What's your advice for my social media? Because I'm not good at social media. Do you have any tips to boost it? I don't know what to do.
Well, what's your goal? Are you trying to grow yourself as, like, a social media person, like,
No,
you or the business?
absolutely not. I just want to scoop. That's it.
I think, if the girls are younger, like, why not have them
I
make some
did think
content?
about that because I didn't even have Facebook until I got my business. I had no idea what to do. I had to call my sister-in-law and say, "Hey, help." But I figured it out as I go. I don't need it for a lot of stuff. So, but I don't
Yeah.
post anything. I don't do anything.
Well, I mean, your business is growing like crazy, but if you ever wanna, like, you know, not wanna put so much money into ads, having some more
Sure.
organic
Yeah.
would be actually
Mhm.
very helpful. So I think having the faces of who's scooping out there is really good. Because if you go
Yeah.
to an Instagram profile for a business and you're just scrolling through it and you just see those, like, static ads, there's no
Yeah.
personality to it, and it's like, there's nobody to connect with, so you
Yeah.
need to see faces, especially
Yeah.
with girl faces.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. People want to know who's, doing the work,
Yeah, so
scooping it
I would say start highlighting them, and then even with you,
up.
just you talking about just being a business owner just in general, I think is very helpful, and it allows people to, like, associate you with the brand, and they're like, "Oh, this woman's really doing a really good job. We wanna support this woman and her business."
Yeah, people like what I'm doing and they're glad that, I'm a girl.
Yeah, it definitely has its pros and it has its cons, but yeah, in girls in front of the vehicles with pictures, those always perform quite well.
Yeah, I think when we get new cars, we have very old cars. No one's gonna want to see those. And we'll get them wrapped, and we'll get the girls, and so we that is on my list. We just can't do it with like a oxidized old Civic. So
We'll document that journey. You might think it's silly right now, but I started documenting from day 1, so you could, like,
yeah,
see me get my first little magnet and put it on the Cobalt, and then when I
yeah,
went from the
that's cool.
Cobalt to the truck, and then I
Mhm.
got a new magnet, and I ripped the old magnet off and put the new one on, and then from there to the Honda with the partial wrap, and then the full wrap, and then the full new rebrand. It's like,
Yeah, you're looking good. You got a lot of good stuff.
thanks. So yeah, just document it. You might feel like it's silly, but it's like the
It
sleeping on
matters,
the floor in the office,
right?
like
Yeah.
the glow up story, and then everybody's like, "I
Yeah.
remember when you were this, and I've been watching your journey. You go, girl."
Mhm. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so that's my tip is just really just start documenting and start showing the
Yeah.
faces.
Yeah, I love that.
All right. Well, thank you so much. If
Thank
anybody wants
you.
to keep in touch with you or reach out, where can our listeners find you?
You can find me at twosisterscoop.com. I'm there. You can text me at 253-653-9643. I will answer any time of day. Or Nicole at twosisterscoop.com.
All right. And you guys don't be weird, okay?
Don't harass me
Don't, or we'll show up at your door
at
and
eight
harass
o'clock
you.
on Saturday.
There you go. All right, you guys. I appreciate you so much. I try to drop a new episode every Monday, and I want to let you know that I will be actually releasing a second episode per week, a bonus episode on Wednesdays. So
Wow.
please, woo, so stay tuned for that. And thank you so much, Nicole, for hanging out with us.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And until next time, bye.